let's reel it forward into the present education system, the present dependence by our young on the screen, the loss of critical thinking, etc. It'll be a very small pool in the future.
Completely.
Indeed.
And but there's no one fit all into where the people that are going to be that small pool come from, because they are just the people who refuse to accept the status quo and want to know why.
Mm-hmm.
So, for instance, I go back to the Leaving Cert curriculum in this country is an absolute farce, because somebody who doesn't really have a very high IQ can score a very good Leaving Cert in terms of the points, because all they have to do is learn off things. The English syllabus has X amount of poets, and I'm not going to make this personal, but I know of people who, when the push and shove comes, they couldn't tell you who the Taoiseach is. They couldn't tell you any kind of basic type of thing that a citizen ought to know, but yet they can get an A1 in English because they've learned off their essays on whoever the poet they think is going to come off that year. And ultimately they know it's like an opinion, how opinion polls work. That
it's a test of memory, really.
The question is going to be framed in a certain way. Mm-hmm. You can always manipulate it back to your pre-prepared essay and score a good point. The music career, I studied music at university. There were people from the UK who did A-level music, and I also knew people from France who did the baccalaureate in English, and they were already at second year undergraduate level music compared to the people who did the 1998 music curriculum, which again is 3 courses. You learn off your essays and fit them into the answers asked on the day, but it's getting anything less than a B2 and you've done a really bad job in Leaving Cert music.
And has it modernized since you were?
No, it's the same curriculum since 1998. I've taught it. I've given grinds on it. I'm guilty of giving pre-prepared essays to people to go and learn, because at the end of the day, that's what the Department of Education and the people who are designing this are expecting from us. But the people who I have taught privately, I've made them think critically about music, and obviously critical music thinking is completely separate. But some of the things that I have learnt in terms of one of the courses that I hated in Trinity in first and second year was called music analysis.
Right.
And yet, like you, Teresa, the man who taught us that was a man called Michael Taylor. And I really, really hated that at the time. But I look back, and the way he made us listen to recordings, he made us analyze scores and absolutely lambast, like music critics, the recording about how it was different to the score and the intentions of the composer. And it was ultimately the interpretation of the performer. Whereas if they were being really, really careful about it, it would be what was written by the composer.
Sure.
And the way that we analyze and that we critically think across arts and culture can be so easily transmitted back into wider society,
yes.
The economy. Look at some of our great economists. I mean, David McWilliams, during the Celtic Tiger boom, kept telling us, lads, this is going to end, the bubble is going to burst. And he was laughed and sneered at.
Yes, yes.
And that's the price that critical thinkers that are being honest to the facts have to deal with. They're going to be laughed at, they're going to be pilloried, and they're going to be sneered at.
Sure. Well, talking about curricula for Leaving Cert, we've had the question last week in relation to the English curriculum for Junior Cert and Leaving Cert, and the questionable material that's on that. So that's another day's work. It's really, we're at a bit of a crossroads, and I do think coming out post-COVID, that point system probably will change. We cannot return to the status quo in preparing our young for the world they're going into, because it's a different type of world, and the jobs they will work at and the several jobs they'll work at across their career span, this system is not preparing them properly for it.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Because they're going to go along, they put their head down, they do what they're told in whatever line of work they're working in, but they're not the creative generation that we need of creative thinkers to lead this country in a real meaningful way into the future. And there are creative people that like that, what I'm talking about, in government. They are there, but again, they're being choked and stifled by the party whip system.